Welcome back. We're on the play in round 2 of Over the Gatewatch Prerelease Swiss. I'm definitely going to play first. Alright, this is pretty good. 2 drop into 3 drop into a mediocre 3 drop. Or options. We'll see what our opponent is. If he plays black, we'll probably be more inclined to play this first and this later, but if he's an aggressive deck, we'll probably try to get him with this. We're going to keep this. This is an okay blocker for random 2 drops. So he's black. It's a good draw. We want the land. So what our opponent's second card is mono black. Oh, that's a shame. But at least we still have got a 3 drop. He's going to take the Void Grafter for certain. I'm converted 3 or greater. Oh, so it's just the Wave Wing. Well, we still gets a pretty good card out of this. But it does diminish Void Grafter's usefulness with our opponent knowing about it. Oh, 3 or greater, so you could have exiled any of those cards actually. That's really surprising my opponent chose that. Very, very peculiar. Very peculiar indeed. I guess he doesn't see a 2/4 as a threat in any form. Even though we have very little ways of actually exiling our opponent's cards to get any value out of it. It's just a random 2/3. But I guess our opponent doesn't know that. That is really bizarre that my opponent would play that. That's really unusual that my opponent, given the information we had, would actually cast that. I don't know what he was thinking. Maybe he's new to the game. But that's amazing for us. Absolutely amazing. So, we can just chalk that up to the format being relatively new, unless something happens that would state otherwise. Question is, do we trade off the Grafter? I think so, considering we have this, and we'll play this next turn. He'll probably Void the Oblivion Strike it. But if he doesn't, we get extra value from the landfall and get him, and then we'll cast this. Because he'll block the Slaughtered Drone later with this and definitely trade with it. Assuming he doesn't have 2 removal spells, but we'll happily trade the Grafter. He may not trade here, he might just take the 2. Which is also fine for us. No, he's going to trade, that's okay. But it's okay, we've just 2-for-1'd him with that card, which is great. Okay. So I expect this to be a Oblivion Strike, but we'll play it anyway. If not, we're going to cast this, followed by playing a land afterwards. If we draw another land, that is. My opponent's still stuck on 3. If he draws his 4th, I can just expect the Wavewing Elemental to be killed, but oh, interesting. Interesting. We didn't draw a land, but we'll cast our Cyclone Sire though. Some people might say jamming this here is probably slightly better, but I'd rather be able to get it out of 5/5 range straight away, because there's a couple of removal spells that affect that toughness. But we'll see. With my opponent's falling behind on the board, so we can play a little bit conservatively. Alright, my opponent was didn't have any action in his hand, so we'll get into the sideboarding. Alright, so we didn't see enough of our opponent's deck to really make any super assumptions. But blue would imply that he probably has some flyers, but then again, we have one Tightening Coils. It's not enough to put another one in yet. Negate, maybe, but we didn't see enough reason to put in that just yet. We didn't see any Oblivion Strikes, we didn't see any sort of removal spells other than the blue one. So I think we're just going to go back in the dark again, because there's nothing really, I think, that would make our deck stronger. Yeah, there's nothing here that I'm comfortable putting in just yet. So we'll go straight into alright. Now this is a mulligan. We have no early plays, and the Seed Guardian, we have to draw another 2 green lands to be even cast it. So this is slightly better. So we're going to keep this on top. So got a little 2-drop here, and hopefully he doesn't have the thing that removes 3 or greater from a hand, and we're probably going to say goodbye to the Hydra. Okay, that's still okay. So we've got a blocker here. I'll happily trade off the drone here if he somehow has a colorless source. Not only does that prevent him developing his board, but this 2/3 doesn't do much. Alright, so I'm happy for him to actually, maybe I'm second thoughts. If I draw another land next turn, I will be able to cast this, and then it gives me 2 creatures to be used with that. I think it's just fine to take the 2 damage here. We're not my opponent doesn't even have it. Okay. Is it worth putting a containment membrane on this? I think so. Let's see what he has. If he has a counter spell, that's fine. I'm happy to lose out a counter here, but I don't think there is one. Oh, there is. There's the one that exiles. Because that can hold out the ground here, and it has the activated ability, so we can consider that a threat for the later development of the game. And it's using up mana somewhat inefficiently by using that spell, but we're using a mana. Alright. We're needing the lands, but we'll see what our opponent has. Ooh, that's a big guy. Enters the opponent, excellent. Okay. We'll cast this. So that we can make these 3, 4, 3, 5, but not enough to actually stop that. So in that case, probably want to be casting the Seed Guardian here. But we can sit on 4 land here quite comfortably. We're probably going to be taking 5 on this swing. It's a problem, that card. We'll take 5 here, it's okay. Okay, we're gonna exile this. Alright, that's fine, we're just gonna sit back here. I probably should have swung in with the Seed Guardian. But we're definitely shields up here, and my opponent's got a group of cards. So I wouldn't be surprised if I saw a... So what instants are there? There's the one that unsummons, swept away. There's no black. There's the one that gives -4/-4. Alright, and counter spells, we'll see. We'll see what my opponent's going to do. Has some effects. Didn't think about that card, but that's okay. Would it? Yeah, even if I blocked with this, it wouldn't have... I still have no reason to play another land just yet. Let's see. No, we'll try to triple block the Sire again, but we're really... oh, my opponent's casting something first, which is excellent. Probably going to take the 5 here, but it puts us in a really precarious position. Probably, since we've got a forest in our hand, in a really bad situation here. 3 land, we haven't been drawing them, plus the Sire is a real card, and my opponent can just remove spells. Tempo us out, currents, lots of things. How was that so? Okay, we're not... so if we let any of the big ones get through, we're dead. I think we're just dead here. I don't think there's any draws anyway. Alright, so... jump this with this. Now I have to block. That. At least we trade off 2 cards, and I get a 1/1, I think, or I get a little bit more. And then I might... oh no, I die if I do this block, unblock. Yeah, so at least we kill the incubator, and we get some cards. Assuming my opponent doesn't have any effects. Okay. That's that. Concede. That's quite a card. Alright, so what's good against him? He has a lot of big guys, so tightening coils might buy us some time on those. Gatewatch Currents is really good in the setup. I'm not sure, I didn't see any flyers at all, so maybe we'll replace that with that. Let's go. Yeah, we'll like to play first. Slightly better this time. Opponent mulliganed. Alright, land draw is a good one. Seed Guardian on the play is quite good. It's probably the 2-2, yeah. Keep that, save that for when we need it. Alright, we can block the slaughter drone. Question is, no, I think it's better to put a threat out here. That's interesting. So we have this way to stop removal. Plus we can use this to untap our creatures. Plus, it's possible to 2-for-1 both of these with this and give us a 2-4 afterwards, which works well with this. Our opponent might also try to make sure this doesn't untap. We'll see what this does. It's just a 1-for-1, but it means we're quite good at defense. Took care of the flyer. Exile 2 cards. Probably these two. I think we can still play the tempo game with those. We've got some protection for our creatures as well. So we're on the offensive, and any sort of tempo play that affects our creatures, we can. It's also possible that we can just snap the slaughter drone if he doesn't have any colorless mana, which will be a boon. I'm happy for him to stop the judgment, but then it will protect our hexproofer, and we can still keep beating down. We're going to play the land, I think, because there's still cards that can remove cards in our hand. have the instant which reduces one of the creatures and then will kill one of ours, but that's still a 1-for-1 and we can happily take that. No. Alright. It's probably his sire. There it is. The beauty is we don't actually need to play any more lands. We attack and he would be put down to 2. And he'll probably chump that, but it puts us on a 1-1. So he'll take 2. We'll have all our creatures on board and we'll have lethal with 3 creatures. I think that's fine. Because that means he has to play 2 cards and he's still in the same situation. Alright. Unless he chumps the Seed Guardian, which is still good for us. Yep. Puts him to 1. And we still have 2 on board. So he has to play super defensive now. He's going to probably return our cards to a hand, which is fine. Oblivion Strike would kill the Seed Guardian, but we still keep a threat of a 2-2 if he does have another type of removal spell. Oh, okay, there we go. Cast that. So we're in a precarious spot. We're just waiting for our opponent to slip up, or we keep drawing sort of aggressive cards. And these 2 lands actually act as a buffer in case my opponent casts the... casting this here just to keep the threats on the board, because if we cast one of our 6-drop powerhouses we want to be able to cast it. For example. Alright, so we're hoping our opponent doesn't have a removal spell for the Wavewing or a colorless mana source. he's looking for answers. By the looks of it, if he's casting that in the main phase, he's looking for his colorless mana. That's not it. But what else does he have? A flyer, possibly too. It's a great card. We can even probably even use it on this if there's some way to kill it when it attacks. It's just buying time. And actually, if I'm not mistaken, we actually have the win here. And at the very least, we have, he'll negate it, he'll chump one, chump another one, and you'll still be down a creature and a threat. What has he got here? Or he might be able to reduce, oh no, we got it, we got to round 2. Oh, we won it. Alright, I'll see you into round 3.